I think it's like this. Hello, lovely, beautiful people out there in the universe. My name is Jer. I play DBD a lot. I play a lot on Twitch, upload a lot of those clips either to TikTok or to YouTube, but what I don't do a great job at is explaining in the moment what is going on in my brain and why I make the decisions I do. And I had a really good match the other day with some very powerful Swifts, and I wanted to break down exactly what was going through my head while I'm playing this match. So, without making you wait any longer, already off the bat, Trapper's one of those killers that you really have to be paying attention to the map that you're in. This is a really good map because it's dark, it's easy to place traps down, and you really have to be thinking spatially where you're at, where survivors are going to go. So I'm putting a trap in this part of the shack because most people don't expect it right there. Most people expect trappers to put them right at the entrance of doors, but when you put them around loop spots that people are going to run around, it's very easy to catch them. So right now, my initial thing with trappers always lose one gen to set up. It's basically setting up a board game. You have to set your pieces down. Unfortunately, I did run into this Nia very early, which does kind of delay my plans. Now, it's pretty easy to kind of figure out when you're with survivors, if they're with someone or not, if they're playing with a group potentially. Typically, there's a runner, there's someone who's going to waste your time. That's what this Nia is trying to do right now, is initially just try to keep me busy for a little bit, drop pallets, smash my feet into the ground, buy time for her friends to finish gens. A lot of Swifts these days are just focused on rushing the gens. They're not really trying to get anything else done. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad strat at all. I also got a follower here, and I don't think I noticed right away. Oh, I did. Good. I'm doing things right. So this is a really good spot right here in this building. And there are lots of good places to put traps down. I'm going to get to that later if I'm remembering this match correctly. So I did decide to break away from Nia, and I whiffed because I have spatial awareness issues. So we ran into this Leon. I have this thing where if I'm on a survivor for too long, I'll break chase. And sometimes it works out really well. Sometimes it doesn't. The reason why I do this is because I'm trying to gauge the frightfulness of the other survivors. I'm trying to gauge their temperament. We had a really great situation here. One of my traps got set off by that Nia that I was chasing. So it's good that I broke chase with her. Because now I understand Leon is very quick to drop pallets. He's not as strong at looping as she is, but he is good at 360s because he's managed to avoid a couple of my attacks. So I leave Nia on the ground because I'm getting the sense that they're working together, and they are. So there's two survivors over here, which means they're not doing objective. So David makes a mistake here. He vaults. Claire is still standing here. She's deciding, okay, I'm going to leave this trapper. I'm going to let Leon come and take care of these two. But he doesn't because he's running around because he's a little bit frightful. I've determined that already. So what I need to do is now hook one of these survivors. I haven't gotten any hooks and I've lost 2 gens. However, Boilover has just popped over. And I don't want to deal with Boilover because with 4 stacks, their plan is usually get in the way, take hits, the person with Boil gets away, they get to do those pickups really easily. So I whiff again because I have spatial awareness issues. Don't mind me. I leave them both on the ground. Claire is being frightful now. At this point, there are 2 of their friends who are on the ground. They're going to start making silly decisions. So now they've come and they've done the pickup for Nia. They all have Dead Heart at this point, is what I've determined. So now what I have to do is I'm leaving David on the ground. I'm not dealing with him. He's going to be one of those survivors that's going to waste my time. Boil over Dead Hearts typically are the waste your time survivors. They're going to go into corners. They're going to go far away. They're going to lead you away from every hook available because they know that they can get away from you. Now, Claire's going over here because she thinks she's got a pallet available, but she doesn't. A lot of trappers make the mistake of not breaking pallets, and you must. Survivors, or killers in general, don't break pallets. You must break pallets. So I'm looking for a place to kind of set up a trap here because if I decide to leave her on the ground, I wanted to hopefully catch someone if they came in for the pickup, but they didn't. So I finally got David. I do have a hook that's nearby, so I'm kind of assessing if I can even hook him right now. Everyone except Nia's injured and she's not around. So I can hook him safely. There's a hook literally right here. I still have a survivor on the ground. See, I'm having a hard time getting him because boil over is very good. It's a great perk. Anyone who complains about boil over doesn't know how to counter it well enough. There's certain strats you have to do. So they tried to, they came to get the pickup. They were successful in that. I am going to get her again. I managed to get her before she gets that save, which is great. So now what's going through my head is I've lost 3 gens. I have 1 hook. I'm not in a good place. However, Swifts love to take protection hits. They love to try to go in for saves. So I leave Claire on the ground again because I'm trying to get the really powerful one out. What I need to do first and foremost is to get this Nia out. Leon is frightful. I don't have to worry about him too much. He's kind of low on the priority list. He's probably going to be pretty easy to kill. Nia is my troublemaker. And I like to kind of refer to survivors in different kind of genres and categories. It's the bad bitch genre. It's a genre. So I reset this because this is a very good spot. They aren't going to think that I had time to go back. Maybe they had time to kind of tell each other, oh, Trapper went and reset that one. So I have an injury. I have someone on the ground. I have someone on a hook. I'm slightly proxying right now because I know that they're around. As I told you. There's the David right here. And what he's doing is exactly what I told you that boil over dead hards do. They go into corners. I cannot pick him up because there's nowhere I can bring him at this point. He's wasting my time so that I struggle with him, bring him to a hook. They get the saves. They do the heals. I need to interrupt that if I have any chance of winning. This is all so much strat. And they're doing a great job. They're not doing bad at all. So now, again, what I need to do, because I do not think I've hooked the Nia at this point. I've been giving her chase. I've been letting it go. She walked right into my trap, which is great. So now, we're in a good place. Because they have to go get David. David is their boil over boy. They have to use him to distract me. Since Nia is now incapacitated. She's their runner. I get the feeling at this point that because Leon is a little more frightful, he's probably their gen person. So that means that Claire is sort of their healer. So I have to start interrupting those heals. I have to start interrupting this process. I have to start placing traps in very specific places. A lot of trappers will make the mistake of just not trapping anymore after they've already started getting gens popping off, after they started getting chased. You have to devote time to doing that. So I get an injury on David because I need Claire to go get him. However, she goes and runs off in some direction thinking I'm going to go after David again because I haven't hooked him yet. Or I hooked him the one time. So again, we love to take protection hits as survivors. She uses her dead hard right here. So now that's a safe place for me to get an injury on him. She's their healer. So I have to get her. She's the one I have to commit to. I have to commit to this chase. She makes a mistake here. She underestimated my moonwalking. She wasn't paying attention because she's getting skittish. Leon's already skittish. I think his energy is rubbing off on her at this point. Nia and David are their still 2 powerful ones, so I really need to focus on them without tunneling. I'm a very fair trapper player. I do not tunnel or proxy camp if I don't have to. I'm a very fair one. So David's over here. David's another distractor. I've decided at this point I'm going to focus on him because I really do need to get him down. So he's doing some good 360s here. He's using a lot of his time wisely. So now he goes over here. He positions himself at that pallet. The reason I don't pick him up is because I know that Claire wants to get that pickup. But I was very lucky in the fact that someone else was over there also trying to get that pallet stun. So now I get the Nia. This is the one that I've been wanting for a very long time. I have the basement right here. I don't like to be a basement trapper if I don't have to be, but sometimes you have to. So Leon is working on gens, but now he's distracted. He has to come away from that to come do pickups. So he's gotten Claire. Nia's down in the basement, as I like to call it. David drops a pallet because he's trying to waste my time. He's their time waster. Keep remembering that. So now I need Leon. Leon's their gen person. He might have perks that are specifically focused on that. At this point, I need to start using survivors as bait to get other survivors to come out. And so, because he's their gen person, Nia is their main runner, we're distracting from two very important pieces. Now I go back only because I know that one of them is down here. I want to get the other one. Claire, their healer. Someone else is around here. There's Nia. She's my distractor. What I'm thinking is I'm probably just gonna down her and use her as bait. Can't reach her. David's still over here. He's gonna waste my time some more. So I need to down him and waste their time. And this is the thing with a lot of Swifts, is you just need, they want to waste your time, you have to waste theirs back. So I'm leaving them on the ground. That means that they're going to pull time away from doing gens to come do heals. So I go after Claire here because her and Leon are going to be the easier ones to get. Pretty sure she's near the end. David's been bleeding out a lot. I feel bad about this, but at the same time, I can't feel bad when you're leading me into corners. You're leading me away from hooks. So she's got one hook left. So now they're going to go for David. Probably both of them are over here. Looks like it's Leon. Leon is another one who I'm not super worried about right now. I would like to get David down again. I need to waste their time. You seeing where I'm getting now? So we have a hook that's nearby. It's not going to be super hard if this is going to put him at hook number 2. So that means that there's very little opportunity for the rest of them to make any mistakes. I trapped this spot here because it's a really great spot, but I don't want them to know that I have a trap there, so I'm not going to walk over it. I vault, forcing her to go back, taking my trap. She swallows that. I had a feeling that something was going amiss here. I made a mistake. She had decisive strike. That was my fault for still going after her. But I do reset this trap. The silent trap add-on is a brown add-on, but it's one of the most powerful add-ons in the game for Trapper because people don't hear it and people rely on those audio cues. Now, they've forgotten that they've used their palettes up here. I've forgotten to use palettes up here. They don't have a lot of options. Get her injured, Leon's rushing the last 2 gens because they understand at this point, it's almost over. It's almost done for them. They're all at Death Hook. They cannot take any more. If I am not perfect with my movements at this point, which I haven't been, I could lose this. Thankfully, I'm very good at Trapper. I'm very good at Trapper. So they're starting to do their heals. I need to interrupt that. I must stop that. I cannot allow that to continue. I have to waste their time and slow them down for the last gen if I want to win. And you could say that's a little sweaty. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a tiny bit sweaty. But it's what you have to do sometimes. So she tried to get in the locker to avoid my hit. That was a very good and smart play. It was great play. I said it in there. It was a great, great, great play. So she's dead. She's done. I'm using my barbecue. I know they're over there in the main building. So I have to stop this last gen from popping. It's probably David and Leon together. Nia's probably getting ready to open the door. So we get Leon down. David walks right into my trap. What I have to do, I sing off key here. I'm gonna kill Leon because I know that David has Boil. I don't know if he's got flip-flop. So I don't know if I leave him on the ground, if I go to pick him up, is he gonna be able to struggle away faster? Is he gonna be able to get those unhooks? So unfortunately, I do have to leave him for now. I now have to find Nia. She's trying to finish this last gen. Because now, her only option is to hope that maybe she and David can get out because everyone else is dead. So I'm waiting on her dead hard. I've been not waiting it out the whole time. Waited it out, hit correctly, and now she dies. This is her final one. They were really good as a team. They were really, really, really strong and powerful. Now my last remaining problem is David. He's almost bled out at this point. I could pick him up. I could let him struggle away. I could potentially go close the hatch. At this point, it really depends on how sweaty I want to be. I'm having an existential crisis here. Because I like letting someone out. But at the same time, they were really, really, really good. And that competitive side of me wants to be better.
David, the one who bled out.
So I let him just continue to bleed out rather than let him struggle away because I wanted to win. I'm not going to apologize for that. Swifts like this win so often, and I totally respect that. I love that. I love seeing Swift succeed. I love getting outplayed. It's one of my favorite things. But outplaying a powerful group brings me so much joy and serotonin. I cannot explain to you why I love that so much. It's competition. But they were very good. And they're running very similar perks. So my thought process as I was going was pretty accurate. Pretty spot on. They were doing a very good job the way they were running. They made really great plays. They have a really strong team. Their distractors are really good. There's not really much more that they could do that'd be different. The way that they play is conducive to wins. But remembering when you're playing killer, don't get discouraged by powerful Swifts. You're going to get 4 stacks like this every once in a while that are running similar perks, are very strong, are very good at this game, and that can get distracting after a while, and I totally recognize that, and I do think there's validity in why that is frustrating for people who are trying to get better at this game, and they're constantly getting outplayed. I understand why that's frustrating. I totally get it. But do not let groups like this distract you. Don't let them bring you down and from getting better at the game. It's asymmetrical. So there's going to be games where you win, and there's going to be games where you lose. And it's going to be that teeter-totter constantly. You're never going to have a perfect row of games like someone like Otz is going to, because Otz is incredibly skilled at this game, has thousands of hours in it. We're not going to get there, those of us who are still learning this game, we're not going to get there for a long time. You might get there eventually, but because it's asymmetrical, there's supposed to be sometimes where you don't do as well, right? Don't let a group like this discourage you. Just get better. Learn. Observe their motions. Survivors are predictable to a fault, and they always will be. They very rarely run things that are unique and new that others haven't already done. It's very monkey see, monkey do. And they're going to do the same kind of things as each other. Good luck, gamers out there, and hopefully this was helpful. If you want to catch me on Twitch, I'm around pretty much every day except for Sunday, usually 6 p.m. PST. I upload a lot of my content here into TikTok as well. Feel free to follow me on those, and hopefully I'll see you around.